Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm down at Hendrick BMW Northlake. We're going to take a look at this 2022 BMW M850i xDrive Gran Coupe. So huge shout out to them for providing this vehicle for me today. Make sure you guys check out their website. All that info is down in the description. The M850i that you see behind me is finished off in Alpine White with an MSRP just over $111,000. To start off today's review, let's take a look at what powers this M850i. Underneath the hood is the 4.4-liter twin-power turbo V8 paired to the 8-speed Steptronic automatic transmission. It pumps out 523 horsepower, around 5,500 RPM, and 553 pound-feet of torque as low as 1,800 RPM. This has the xDrive all-wheel drive system, weighs in right around 4,700 pounds. It'll do 0 to 60 in 3.6 seconds, up to its top speed of 155 miles an hour, and it has a fuel capacity of 18 gallons. You can expect the fuel economy to be 17 miles per gallon in the city and 24 out on the highway. This has a wheelbase of 119 inches. Its overall length is 200.3. It has a width of 76.1 and a height of 55.4 inches. As we move on to the exterior styling now for this M850i, let's start off with the kidney design for the grille. This model here, it's finished off in gloss black, fits nicely in between the LED headlights. It also features the forward-facing camera as well as all of the vertical slats, and it even has grille shutters that will open and close just to help better improve with the aerodynamics. Like I mentioned, it has the LED headlights along with the DRLs and the turn signals. Really nice sleek housing for that design. The DRLs are also underneath the headlights and the high beams with a half C-shaped design. There's also some blue accents, and then the turn signal is in the upper section. This model also has a lot of carbon fiber for the exterior. It's down in these large cutouts in the lower section of the grille, as well as the functional air inlets on both sides of the corners. You can see the sensor right in the middle is a part of the adaptive cruise and all of that technology. There's also forward-facing parking sensors as well. Really nice lines that run throughout the front end just to give it a sporty design, with clean lines running down the hood, meeting the top of the grille very nicely with the BMW badge front and center. As we move on to the side now, this has the M Sport wheels, finished off in gloss black. They're 20 inches in all four corners. This has the M Sport brakes, which are finished off in blue, as well as the M Sport differential and the M Sport suspension. The side mirrors are also finished off in carbon fiber. Really nice to see that. They have the turn signal as well as a camera. This even has the carbon fiber roof, which is a really nice option. All of the window trim is finished off in black, as well as the trim piece that's just behind the front tires. And some really nice lines extend off that trim piece and the lower section of the door, as well as just underneath the door handles. It has a really nice coupe-like design with that steeply raked rear glass. And then finishing up in the rear, the BMW badge is front and center. This has a backup camera in the lower section of this power trunk, LED taillights which have a nice sleek housing to them, all the parking sensors, as well as even more carbon fiber in the lower diffuser, surrounding some gloss black with the quad-tip dual exhaust on both sides. So with the exterior wrapped up, which just has a really nice look to it, let's move on to the rear cargo area. So I can use the button on the key fob or the electronic button up underneath, and with that power trunk, it will open up. There is a lot of storage space in the back with those back seats up. Flat surface with some tie-down hooks so you can safely secure any items. On this passenger side, there's a net so you can place smaller items there. On the driver's side is some access to battery components, and then you can fold these back seats down, making it a lot more practical. So just by pulling on these handles, those will go down, and you can see just how much more interior storage space there is, making this a very practical daily driver. And with that power trunk lid, you can close and lock the vehicle. The one on the left side will just close it. And now let's move on to these back seats. And you can lock and unlock the vehicle using the back door handles. The side mirrors will automatically fold out, so it's really convenient to have that. The interior for this spec is called Tartufo, has a really nice design. You can see all the brushed aluminum. This has the 16-speaker Harman Kardon sound system, as well as the window control, all these sunshade adjustments. You can currently see one is up. I'll show those here in just a little bit. Plenty of storage in the lower section of the door as well, and even black leather on the upper section. M is also down on the door sill. It is an illuminating badge. It's going to be hard to see during the day, of course. And then making our way to the interior, that two-tone carries on, giving it a really nice look. I am 5'10". It's time to work my way into this back seat. I do have the front seat set at my height. I have plenty of room for my feet and my legs. There's also some storage pockets behind both front seats. This is a 5-seater. You do have the center stack though, so you would have to have one foot on both sides. but you can get a look at the interior ambient lighting on both sides, along with the brushed aluminum and the carbon fiber trim. There's 2 air vents right in the middle, as well as a little bit of storage, so you could place your phone, even charge it too with the USB-Cs. And we even have heated rear seats, so those controls are on both sides, as well as the 3rd climate zone. So we have fan speed, where you like the air to go, as well as temperature. Nice to have that for your backseat passengers. And then as far as headroom goes, I have about an inch above my head, but it's a very comfortable seat. Even with this coupe-like design, doesn't really sacrifice headroom. And this headliner is also finished off in Alcantara, which is a great touch. Right in the middle, we have this armrest, as well as a little bit of storage on the back side and 2 cup holders in the front section there. Great to see that it's finished off in that same leather, along with brushed aluminum. And these back seats have a 40-20-40 split. You can fold down this middle one if you need a little bit more storage. And then from this angle, with all these seats folded down, you can get another look at how spacious it is for extra cargo. And moving back to the sunshades, all of those controls are on both back doors. If I push this one on the left, that will control this driver's side. Pushing the opposite one will control that one over on the passenger side. And the one on the back is for the rear glass. You can see how quickly these go up and down. It's really nice to have that, just to give you a little bit more shade for your backseat passengers. This model does have remote start. In order to activate it, all you need to do is triple tap on the BMW lock button. And once I do that, this will fire right up. We'll get some exhaust clips here in just a little bit. If you do want to shut this off, simply just triple tap that button again. And then by using the front door handle, just like the rear one, that will unlock it and lock it, of course. We'll take another look at these door panels. The front seats have the addition of the memory seating adjustments, as well as lock and unlock, along with the power trunk release, all of the window controls and the side mirror adjustments, and a lot more storage space in the lower section. M850i is also spelled out with that same illuminating badge. And taking another look at the 2-tone leather, these are heated seats. They have a really nice design to them. And you can also adjust the front section of the seat just by pulling on that tab for a little bit more comfort. And all the automatic adjustments are down on the side. And working our way to these front seats, it's a very low car, so it's easy to enter and exit. We have that grab handle there. And then looking at this M steering wheel, finished off in solid black leather with black stitching. It is a heated steering wheel, so that button is down below. But let's fire this back up. With my foot on the brake, that button is over on this right side. We can bring this to life. And coming back to the digital gauge cluster, on the left side is the fuel gauge and the miles per hour. On the right side is the tach and the engine temperature. The navigation is also front and center, and there's a lot more info you can go through within that tach using this button on the top of the turn signal. So currently it's showing some data information. You can pull up live readouts for the horsepower and torque. So if I give the vehicle some gas, those will adjust. Really cool to be able to see that. The G-force meter is also available, as well as music. You can pull up what gear you're in, as well as the driving mode that the vehicle is currently in. And then the last one is a live readout for the MPG. So it's nice to have that front and center. As we come back to the steering wheel, on the left side is all the cruise and adaptive cruise control settings. On the right side is volume and tuning for the radio, as well as Bluetooth and voice commands. This center button here is a shortcut to the music, which will be pulled up on the heads-up display. And when you push on that, it will disappear to where you can just see your miles per hour and the speed limit sign. This does have steering wheel mounted paddle shifters that are finished off in brushed aluminum to match the rest of the steering wheel. And then on this left side is all the headlight and parking light adjustments, as well as a dimmer switch for the gauges. There is one air vent, as well as the interior ambient lighting strip just above that brushed aluminum. The dash is covered in leather. And right in the middle, we have this 12-inch touchscreen system. However, you can use the buttons that are down below. There are shortcuts to map and navigation, as well as home, media and phone, the rotary dial, and a few buttons just behind that. And on the home screen, you will see the navigation as well as music and phone. I can scroll over to that data information that we saw in the gauge cluster, as well as local traffic and the compass. The last page here is for the date and the time, along with weather and any news. And over on this left side, these are all presets. So this is a fixed bar. You have shortcuts to your media and phone, as well as navigation. If I go into car, there is a lot more settings you can go through for this M850i. Under the driving information, you can pull up sport displays, so you can monitor all of this when you have this out on some back roads or just driving in general if you'd like to see it. Under status, you can monitor some more vitals. If we go into the settings now, there is a lot more to go through, from the different driving modes that you can set up to configure everything from your steering, your dampening, your engine and transmission. You can go through the exterior lighting as well as the driver assistance, even go into the climates and the ambient lighting. So that way you can pick whatever color you'd like. So it's nice to have all that front and center. You can go through your driver profiles, your owner's manual as well. And then the last one is for apps. So this does have Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and a bunch of other apps, even a drive recorder, just depending on what you'd like to use. Just underneath that is some more gloss black. There is a small LCD screen right in the middle. And before we get to that, just above that is a shortcut to the intelligent safety. So this has forward and side collision, as well as the lane departure, the steering intervention, and the active blind spot. You can quickly set all of that up. And then for the climates, all of those buttons are finished off in brushed aluminum, and you have adjustments for the fan speed as well as temperature, a few other menu controls you can go into. And as I mentioned, these are heated seats, so those buttons are on both sides, as well as where you like the air to go, different recircs, and all of those controls. And working our way below that is all the presets for the radio. You can just hover your finger on them to make sure that you know exactly which one is what before you push on it. Volume is over on the left side, tuning is on the right side, and right on this cover is even more carbon fiber. There's brushed aluminum as well as more of the interior ambient lighting running down the sides. And if I open this up, that reveals a wireless charging pad along with the BMW access card. So you can utilize this instead of the key fob, finished off in a really nice, almost like carbon fiber finish, which is great to see. There's two cup holders along with a 12 volt and a USB. You can easily close that up. And then working our way to the shifter with my foot on the brake, the release is on this left side. If I go up into reverse, now we can take a look at that 3D camera system. On the right side is the top-down view, as well as some shortcuts to be able to see around the exterior. There's also a 3D view, and on this left side, you can push on these shortcuts to pinpoint where you'd like to see around this vehicle. And it does have the gesture control, so you can use that to go around the entire exterior as well. The last one is for the car wash setting, or even just pulling into a parking space. You have that top-down view. This model also has the automatic parking, which is the parallel parking assist, as well as the backup assistance. Really cool technology to have. If I put it into drive and then use this camera button on the left side, now we can pull up the forward-facing camera in full screen. Park is right on the back side, and then over on this left side is traction control, as well as the parking sensors and the engine start-stop feature, and then a few other controls here for the different driving modes. The gauge cluster will also change depending on the driving mode. So you'll see there's a few for sport mode, there's comfort mode, which will turn it to orange, and then the last one is Eco Pro Individual, and everything will turn blue. You can also go through a lot more of those settings within the center screen just to configure it the way that you'd like to. Behind that is an adaptive setting, so the vehicle will automatically adjust. There's the auto hold and the parking brake. And then right in the middle, we have more leather on the center armrest with plenty of space for any items you'd like to place there. There's a 12 volt and a USB-C, so you can charge any electronics that you have in there. The glove box also has a good amount of storage. And we'll take one last look at these two-tone seats, which have a great design along with that Alcantara headliner. Right in the middle is a call button, and the dome lights are on both sides. So as we get this 2022 BMW M850i out on the road, this is such a cool Gran Coupe from BMW. I love everything about this model with the white, the interior color, all of the carbon fiber goodies. This is definitely a cool model, and it's also very proportional for being the Gran Coupe. It's called that because it's supposed to mimic the 850 Coupe. Obviously, being a four-door vehicle, it's going to have that Gran Coupe design to it, but it is very proportional for the exterior. And with it on the road, we have to put it back into Sport Plus, because as you already heard from those exhaust revs, this sounds so good. With the push of a button, you can go from just a quiet and comfortable daily driver to a back mountain type road vehicle, even though this is a four-door car. So I love the fact that we have the M Sport suspension as well, so it will change depending on the mode that you're in. And there's some pops in that exhaust too, so it just gives you a smile on your face when you're driving this. So I could see this being a great daily driver because it offers pretty much everything that you need. If you want a sports car, but you need the practicality and you want those back seats, you want the cargo space as well, super comfortable and quiet. I am in sport mode still at the moment, so keep that in mind. but it is very quiet as far as road noise, wind noise goes. And then when you want it to be loud, a couple flips of the paddles and you can get a little gurgle in that exhaust. Now these paddles are also very responsive. So we're coming up to a sharp right. And plenty of power. It's very smooth in the upshifts as well. Same with the downshifts too. The moment you hit that paddle, you are in the next gear. Let's do an acceleration in comfort mode because I haven't done that yet. I don't know if the camera will pick up the audio. Well, the gurgles are gone, but you can still hear that exhaust note when you pop it into the next gear. One thing that I will say that I think is a slight drawback is the fact that if you do have a middle seat passenger in the back, they do have the climate controls pretty much right there in their lap. Not really a plus or a minus. It might be a little bit inconvenient, but it's still a 5-seater. So if you have 4 other people with you, you can definitely make it work. But aside from that, I think that is the only drawback that I see with this car. It is so much fun to drive and it handles so well. These seats are pretty comfortable. I like the lateral support that they offer. Maybe they could be a little bit larger, kind of like the carbon bucket option that you can get with the M4. It'd be really nice to see that. You can get those seats in the M5 CS. Maybe they should come up with an M8 CS. That could be kind of cool. Get some bucket seats in the rear as well. And you would have the ultimate driving machine. And then switching over to the POV angle, you can get a feel for what it's like to be behind the wheel of this M850i. Maybe in the shade you can see the blue for the interior ambient lighting. Hard to see during the day, but at nighttime it's a great interior contrast to see, and you can change that obviously as I mentioned. And we'll give it another acceleration here from 2nd gear, still in Sport Plus. It's a quick vehicle. That was about half acceleration, so I'm not mashing the throttle today. But this is a quick vehicle, very sporty, very practical as well. And a quick look at visibility for the Gran Coupe being stretched out. Over my left shoulder, I can easily see out of that back glass. And then a glance over my right shoulder. Pillar's not all that bulky. You definitely have a good 360 view without using that camera system. So it feels very open. We do not have a sunroof option with the carbon fiber roof. That is not available, but the carbon fiber is definitely a lot cooler. But even with the solid roof, still has plenty of light on this interior. A-pillars are very thin too. You can even see carbon fiber wrapping around those side mirrors, which is a great touch. Definitely the mode to stay in while you're out driving this. But I hope you enjoyed today's review, coming along with me to check out this 2022 BMW M850i xDrive Gran Coupe. Once again, a huge shout out to Hendrick BMW Northlake for providing this ultra luxurious Gran Coupe for me today. Be sure to check out their website, that is down in the description. Give the video a huge thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and consider smashing that subscribe button so you don't miss out on our daily uploads. I will see you all in the next video.